It's Grace here. Welcome back. Sorry about the glare on my glasses. That's just the way the light works, and I don't have non-reflective ones. So, it has been a while. I am very aware of that. Update. I have short hair now. That's happening. That's awesome. I am now also... A lot of things have changed since the last video. I must inform you. First of all, when I did the last video, I was about to go on holiday. Been there, done that. Holidays are over. Everyone's back at school. Yay! I was at work in my new job and things. No longer doing what I was before as a waitress, but here is why I am no longer a waitress. Because you have to deal with a lot of things when you're a waitress. Also, update, these may not be as regular as they used to be. I know that that's quite a stretch because they weren't that regular anyway because I would get busy and things, and when I used to upload these I was an A-level student, so either way, this is just me having a little rant about the pains of waitressing. So, over the last few, flipping out, 2.5 years, I have been waitressing on and off in different places, 2 different places. The first place was a hotel, and first of all, the commute there was really terrible. I had to take a first bus to get me out of my town, and then I had to take another bus to get me out of that town and into the next town across. The place, it was just a mess getting there, and super expensive, even if I used my local bus card thing, so that happened. And also, waitressing is horrifying. And let me tell you what, I'm just trying to, maybe the glare, oh no, the glare is worse somehow, and now my head's out of the shop. Is that better? That's slightly better. That's slightly better. Either way, I'm doing this here because my laptop has been purloined by my wonderful brother, and also the camera quality was a bit blah. So, you know. So, waitressing. People will complain about everything. I've worked in 2 different places, a hotel and a pub restaurant, and there was always some kind of complaint, whether you're working at a wedding, whether you're doing Sunday dinners, whether you're doing festivals. There will always be complaints from people who do not understand what the customer is supposed to know when they walk into a business. And when we explain ourselves, they will still try and get refunds and try and complain and find reasons to moan. Because that is just the job of a customer, apparently. Either way, it's not fun, and it's very, very painful. So, I've had people complain about a quiche being frozen. I later found out it actually was, but originally they told me, yeah, it's absolutely freezing cold. That's what a quiche is supposed to be. Quiche is kept in a fridge, and it is served cold. It is not supposed to be hot. Oh, hello. Shut up. Hold on. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Hold on. There we go. That might about do it. So, either way, that kind of sucked. But I have also had people complain about the stupidest things. So I've had people complain about their meat not being cooked properly, even though it is, and we still have to take it back and change it and things. Or people will say, I ordered this without pineapple. So I used to serve a kind of gammon, and you can put on checks if people want something different. That's fine. If you don't like something or you're allergic to something, we will totally make sure that those 2 things do not touch and do not go anywhere near your plate. But if you don't like something and you get it anyway, There's no reason to complain. You can just pick it off and put it to the side. That's what you do when you go to McDonald's, when you get given the Big Mac and you have the little gherkins. You just throw them away. People can't do that in restaurants because they have a right, somehow. I don't know why. They just do. But we served gammon with like an egg and chips and a bit of salad or something, and also like a ring of pineapple, a few chunks, or even just a ring of stuff. And someone specifically said, I don't want them to put pineapple on my gammon. I don't like it. I don't want it. The hostess or whatever said, that's fine, we'll tell the kitchen that. Fast forward to us serving the food after it's been cooked and things, because sometimes it takes about an hour tops to get things cooked, but we served up the food, and then we got a complaint when they were all sat down, and they said, mine has got pineapple on it. I looked at the table, and there was someone else on the table who had a plate that didn't have the pineapple on. They weren't complaining, so the guy didn't know that someone else had their plate. And they didn't know that until I told them, I think that your plate is over there. And they were like, why didn't you know that that was supposed to be my plate? I'm not the person who took your order. I am someone from the kitchen who runs the food, nearly burns her hands off trying to serve you hot food. You cannot complain to me. I do not know who is sitting at these tables. Okay? I am not giving an accurate description of who's supposed to get what. I just take food to the table and put it down. It is up to you whose food it is. Okay? Is that okay? Sorry, I really need to get that off my chest. I just hate when people do that. Complaining about weddings, though. If you're getting married and you set out a specific menu for something, and there's something that's slightly different. So I remember we were doing this one wedding when I was working at the hotel, and the bride had specifically requested for the kids' meals. We usually do like standard kids' meals, so for the kids we usually do chips, beans, and chicken nuggets or something. And she had requested for the kids to have mashed potatoes with their beans and chicken nuggets. The chef hadn't prepared any mashed potatoes because we usually do it ourselves with with the children's meals. This bride went off so far. She was very upset that the kids' table had chips and not mash, even though it's more normal, but you know. So the poor chefs, effing and jeffing like nobody's business, were like, well, I gave them chips, can't they just mash them up into it? I feel bad saying it, but it was kind of funny seeing them go off and things. And the bride was like, I asked for this specifically in my instructions for the kids' meals. I hate bridezillas. Don't be a bridezilla. Please. It just makes the waiters and waitresses' jobs harder. Please. Just accept the food, that you've got food. Okay? So we took all the kids' plates back, even though they'd started eating, bless their poor little souls. Took off all the chips, put them into like a bowl or something for us to share in the kitchen. Yeah, if no one eats your food, if you don't eat your food, and you send it back to the kitchen, the waiters and waitresses get to eat it because we're starving, because we work ridiculous hours. Just want you to consider that before you send food back to the kitchen. Well, then again, do it more often. It means we get fed. Or it gets thrown in the bin. It's your choice, honestly. You don't have to be fussy. But even so, we went back and we fixed these meals, and the mashed potato looked really bad because they'd had to make it like on the spot in a hurry. which is not fun for the people in the kitchen at all. And then to make it look better, they put a tiny leaf thing on top of it to make it look pretty. It was the ugliest mashed potatoes I've ever seen in my life. But the bride was happy, so that's fine, I guess, even though the kids didn't seem too happy, but it's the bride's wedding. There was one thing that was my fault that happened because I'm a terrible waitress, and I always was, where I was serving. So when you're a waitress or a waiter at a wedding or something, you will get told that there is a format for the room. There's the top table where the bride and groom, their parents, and possibly the maid of honor or something sits, or even the bride and groom's kids or something. Then there are the other tables, which are usually round ones. So like table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5, table 6, table 7 often. Sometimes we'd have parties of about 70, which is quite normal for those weddings. And once I was told I could serve the top table. And this was a big responsibility for me because I was just a little waitress on a 0-hour contract who was only brought in to do weddings. So I was kind of like, okay, I'll serve the top table. So I had my cloths, I had the bride and groom's meals in my hands. I was at the front of the queue. I was like, I get to serve them, yay, this is a big moment and things. And the thing about some meals is some people don't know what enough gravy is. They will pour gravy on there, and it would go from meal with a bit of gravy on to meal from the swampy lagoon. It was like the whole plate was covered in gravy. You probably couldn't even see the meal. So I was holding them very tentatively, very carefully, trying not to get anything wrong, keeping my eyes on the plates and then going forward, eyes on the plates, forward. Came to the table, I went, hi, here are your meals, and put them down, and I could see the plates. So you have to hold them like this, usually, and the plates started doing this. And the gravy went onto the white tablecloth, nearly went on the bride. Steaming hot gravy nearly went all over the beautiful bride's dress. She wasn't too bad about it, but after I left to try and fix it, I had the head waitress or something coming up to me saying, you nearly spilled gravy all over that bride, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm very clumsy, if you haven't figured that out yet. There was one time where I dropped a lot of glasses and it wasn't pretty. Or that time where I dropped all those plates and now they have less plates. But I don't work there anymore, so I don't care. Well, I did care, but I wasn't a very good waitress. Let's put it that way. I wasn't a very good waitress. One thing I always hate, though, is when people leave their food. You get given a perfectly good plate of some of the best food, like a Sunday meal or salmon Florentine, just as an example, or like an amazing steak and chips and things that's all big and hot and nice. And then you leave. Like, I've seen people leave almost entire plates because they've been talking or they've just not cared. And then, I mean, they still pay at the end of the day, but that is such a waste of food. I remember when I was waitressing at the restaurant and things, we'd have to empty the bin about 5 times a day because of all the food that would go in there. Food that was perfectly good by my standards and other people's standards. It just didn't look as nice because it had been mushed around or whatever. And just like people push food around their plate. I hate when people do that. They just push it around their plate and they're like, yeah, I'm not really very hungry. Then why did you order it? Why do you order food if you're not going to eat it? That's one of the things that really wound me up as a waitress. The complaining, the food that people would order, bridezillas, and people not eating the food that's given to them. But this next one, there used to be at the pub restaurant I worked at, there were these two people who would always come in and always find something to complain about. Now, dealing with one complaint, that's okay. After you've dealt with a few complaints, you're kind of like, okay, they did have some valid reasons. These people would find anything to complain about. Like, they'd come in, and because they're regulars, they would say that I want my plate to be extra hot because it's always cold here. Why do you still come here to eat then if you always think it's cold? So I'd be having to carry these steaming hot plates with like these little thin, they weren't very thin, but like those cloth things, which make it harder to carry, but you have to carry it with them because otherwise you will literally scald your fingers, to their table, and they would either ask for more gravy, more gravy, more gravy, more gravy. They would either ask for their plates to be made hotter. They would either say that the steak was undercooked. They would either say that there's not enough chips. They'd say they want another portion of chips because there's not enough chips on their plate. They would find anything to complain about. And sometimes they'd even make up their own meals that aren't even on the menu. They would take sides and just build something out of it and be like, yeah, I want a plate full of this. The stupidest thing they ever complained about, though, was when one of them had ordered a meal and they said, I didn't ask for the chips, I wanted the salad. And we went and we were like, that's fine, all right, we'll sort that out. This isn't the craziest thing you've asked, that's fine. We didn't know that you wanted the salad one, that's okay. You could have said it when we ordered, but okay. And I came back with the salad in a bowl because she didn't give me her plate. She didn't indicate that she wanted it on her plate. And I gave it to her in the little salady bowl thing and put it on the table for her and said, there you are, there's your salad. And then she was like, I wanted it on the plate. I wanted it on the plate. I wanted it on the plate. Girl, you're crazy? I was so tempted to just take the bowl and just dump it on the plate upside down and the salad going onto there and go, there, it's on the plate. But I had to take it into the kitchen with the plate, and I went to the manager and the manager said, what's wrong with this plate? And I said, the lady wanted the salad on her plate. And the manager did exactly what I would have done. Take it back, Grace. Here's your salad, dear. So yeah, I don't like people like that. And eventually the manager sorted them out and said, look, if you're going to keep eating here, you need to stop complaining, otherwise we'll just bar you. And so they stopped complaining after a bit, but they'd had to put up with that kind of thing for ages and ages, and one of my favourite people there was the best at dealing with them. And I'd say, oh, that table that always comes in, like, it'd be a specific number. I'd be like, oh, such and such table have asked for more gravy. And he was like, give it here. And he got a giant metal jug that you get for gravy. Instead of, like, we usually have to give out the little ceramic ones, he got, like, the big one, filled it with gravy, and took it to the table. And I was like, you should have taken a bucket! Because they never have enough gravy! Anyway, I am no longer a waitress. I no longer have to deal with petty customers who think they deserve everything as though they are the freaking Queen of England when they really don't. I never have to deal with that again. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment if you have any of your own stories about waitressing or waitering or just dealing with horrible customers into the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to find out when I'm next uploading, but it's not going to be frequent, so just do it anyway because it's fun. And you can also subscribe for more cringy content. It's not cringy, it's just people find it cringy, but I don't care. My brother thinks it's cringy, but what does he know? He's not got as many subscribers as me. Anyway, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!